Hey, what's going on, guys? Colin here with Red Beans and Dice. Today we are going to be playing the second scenario out of Teeth of the Kitten, aka Jaws of the Lion. It's called A Hole in the Wall. And then one little different thing for this scenario that I wanted to point out to you is that we are actually going to remove close cuts and center mass, the cards labeled A, out of the 6 cards that we played with in the first scenario. And we are going to replace them with cards labeled B, close cuts and center mass. So it's the same name, but it's just a different card with a different kind of attack. For this card, Close Cuts, it actually has a area effect. There's different stuff like that. I'll definitely let you see the cards as I play them so you can get a better feel for what they are and how they've upgraded and progressed. This is, like I said in the first video that I did about this, it's a tutorial kind of mission for people who have not been exposed to that much of Gloomhaven. It's a really, really fun game, and in my opinion, I think it should have come out before Gloomhaven. It is a good tutorial and it touches a lot of different bases that you don't get when you just buy the 2017 Gloomhaven core set. So that is that. So those are the cards for Hatchet. We're still going to be playing with 6. And then also my second mercenary that I picked was the Red Guard. So once again, I took the 2 cards labeled A, Desert Knight and Flaming Sickle, and I replaced them with cards labeled B, Desert Knight and Flaming Sickle. They both just have 6 cards. This is what they're going to start the scenario with, and that is that. Also, in my first scenario, I do want to point out that I was using the Vermling Scouts. I should have been using the Vermling Raiders. I was actually using the wrong model. So whoops, didn't know that. Sorry. And then also with this scenario, this is a door that I made myself. It does not come with the game. I just wanted to be clear about that. I like the little 3D doors. We will actually be using a door for this scenario. Also, we are going to be using traps for the first time. So anytime you get pushed, pulled, whether it's you or an enemy, you go over this trap, you are going to take 3 points of damage without a modifier attached to it. It's just straight damage put onto it. Also, we are going to have our little Legend of Zelda treasure chest. So whenever you land on that or loot that, you will go ahead and look up which treasure chest it is. This one's labeled number 14 right here on the board. So you look that up, you'll go ahead and get the rewards. That's all that is. Pretty simple. And then there's also indications for money tokens that we are going to place on the ground. Just like any other money token, if you loot it, pick it up, it goes to you 2 gold pieces as we're still on level 1. So that is that. I'm going to get into some of the gameplay and let's go. Here we have the second scenario out of Jaws of the Lion, a hole in the wall setup. We have our goal up here, our introduction. Now, you're supposed to read the introduction before you actually start playing. I'm not going to do that. Like I said in the first video, I really like the story, and I don't want to possibly ruin it for anybody that is looking to start from scenario 1 and go through the whole scenario book and just have a good time. It's nothing crazy or out of the ordinary, but so far I've really liked the story, and it has really helped out just the playthrough and the good time that I've been having. So like I said, here we go. I have the introduction, the special rules, anything that's going to be unique to this certain scenario. We have what we're going to need, the map layout. We have it all set up here. We don't have the extended scenario book in case we need to attach anything to the bottom to make the map a little larger or anything like that. We have the monsters we're going to use. We have the damage traps, the treasure tile, the money tokens, everything's set up and good to go as is. And then just like before in the first scenario, it's going to tell you where to place these, going to tell you where to put each monster and what level of monster you're going to be playing with. Oop, I don't think that guy goes there. He goes right here. See? So you're going to be playing with 2 mercenaries. This little top part, it says we're not going to put an enemy there, so he needed to go up there. I had that wrong. But as you can see, it's really well indicated as to where I need to put which monster. And let's get into it. I'll go ahead and scoot this map over so you guys can see the Vermling Raider stat card and some of the action cards that they're going to be drawing to modify what they are doing. So in the first scenario, the Vermling Raiders were actually acting at initiative 50, and they would just go ahead and use their base stats of, what is it here? Move 1 and attack 2. So if they could get into range of somebody moving their 1 action, they would perform a basic attack at power 2. But this time we are actually going to be drawing these basic Vermling cards right here. There's 4 of them. We're going to go ahead and shuffle them up, and then whichever one we draw, that'll be what those Vermling Raiders are going to be doing. So right here we have the initiative level. That's how fast they're going to be acting. So this is a pretty late one. It goes from 1 to 99, I believe. I've actually never seen an 100, so maybe they have an 100. I don't know. I've seen them up in 90s, but it's 1 to 99, I believe. So obviously 1 is going to be acting very fast, 99 is going to be acting very late. And then this is what they're going to do. So right off the bat, you start at the top and go down. They're going to push 1 to all adjacent enemies that are close to them, and then they're going to do a ranged attack for 1 damage. And then also, this little thing in the bottom right-hand corner, I'm glad I drew this card. Anytime you see this, whether it's on an attack modifier or a monster ability deck, you're going to go ahead and put this card back into here, and all those little 2 arrows chasing each other means is you're going to reshuffle the deck that you drew this card from. So we'll take this and we'll go ahead and shuffle it back up once we draw that card, and then next turn we will draw a new card for him. And then also, I would just like to point out that this door, say we kill all 3 of these monsters right here, and there's 2 monsters over here, right? Those monsters are not going to activate until we break down that door and move into here. As soon as we break down that door, that mercenary will get to go ahead and finish his turn, and then we will actually draw a attack or ability card for these 2 monsters that are left over, and depending on what they draw, that is how they act. So for our first turn, we'll go ahead and pick out our 2 cards for the Red Guard and Hatchet. For the Red Guard, I went ahead and picked out Desert Knight and Shocking Advance. And what I intend to do is go ahead and use the bottom part of this, and then I want to disarm this guy right there, that monster that I'm looking at. So I'm going to move 3, and then I am going to attack 2 and target 1 enemy within 2 hexes and disarm that enemy so that they cannot attack until the end of its next turn. Awesome. So I'm going to go at initiative 14. I want to try to go before he has the ability to activate, so that way he can't attack this turn or his next turn. I'll put this right down here to show you the initiative I'm going at for the Red Guard. For Hatchet, I went ahead and picked out these 2 cards here, and I am going to move 3. And then at the end of this move, I get to push 1 target adjacent enemy 2 spaces. So my thinking there is I'm going to move right up to here, and I can move this guy 1, 2. And then once I do that, I'll be able to do an attack and shoot him and that enemy right there. And it says I can target 2 with a range of 3. I may have to take a disadvantage because I might be next to this guy right here, but I'll still be able to do a little bit of damage onto him. So, and then next turn he won't be able to attack. And then hopefully I can do a little damage to him, at least 2. And then if I throw him across that trap, remember those do 3 points of damage. So that will be, if I do over 5 points of damage to each one of these Vermling Raiders, I can kill him. And then a gold coin will pop out and life will be good. And then for Hatchet, I'm going to be going at initiative 24. I wasn't sure if I said that. So 14 for the Red Guard, 24 for Hatchet. And then now we're going to do this new thing called drawing an action card for the monster. So we'll go over here and we'll draw the top one. And the Vermling Raiders are going to be acting at 36 initiative. They are going to move +0. So their base is 1, +0 is still 1. So they're going to move 1 movement space towards the enemy that they need to get in range of. And then we're going to -1 to their attack. So they have a base of 2. It's going to be dropped down to 1. And then they can attack something 2 spaces away. So they're going to move, try to get in range of a target within 2 spaces without getting next to it. They don't want disadvantage. And then they are going to attack for a base of 1. And we will obviously draw a modifying attack card for that attack and see what they get. So the Red Guard is going to be acting first at initiative 14. Next will be Hatchet acting at initiative 24. And then last and least, we're going to be doing the Vermling Raiders, and they are going to go at initiative, what was that, 36. That's what they are going to be acting at. I'll put that right over there so you guys can see it. We got these little indicators with each one of the names of the monsters and the mercenaries that you're playing, and it's just a good way to keep track of who is going first. So the Red Guard is going to go ahead and use the bottom part of Shocking Advance first, move 3. So I'm just going to use 1 of that. I'm going to move into there. I'm going to grab this coin, put it over with the Red Guard. So that is it for the bottom part of Shocking Advance. Next part I'm going to use is the Desert Knight, the top part here. So attack 2 and disarm the enemy. So I'll put those over here. We're done with those. So I'm going to do an attack of 2 onto this Vermling Raider right there. I'll need to draw a modifier from our attack modifying deck. And, oops, sorry, that is for Hatchet. Whoops. Okay, I draw a -2. Okay, so no points of damage is actually done to that guy. So that means he does not take any hit points. However, he is going to go ahead and take a disarmed token right there. So that guy is number 1. We're going to go ahead and put the disarm token onto our Vermling Raider labeled number 1. And that is that. So no damage, but however, he cannot attack this turn or the next turn. Next up, Hatchet is going to go. So with Hatchet, I'm going to use the bottom part of this card, move 3 with a push 2 on it. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. And then the push 2 allows me to move a target up to 2 spaces away. So I want him to go 1, 2 over this trap, and he is going to take 3 points of damage just right off the bat. There's no attack modifier for that. It's just 3 points of damage. So we'll go ahead and we will take a 3 token right there, and he is number 5. So we'll put that right onto the number that coordinates with him. And we still have the top part of double throw that we need to resolve. So we've used this card already. We're just going to put that right down here. So we have a range of 3, and I can target 2. So I'll target this guy right here and that guy right there. Now, since I am so close to this guy right here, I actually going to go ahead and get disadvantage on the attack. So that means I'm going to draw 2 cards from my attack modifier. I'm going to take the lowest one. So here's my first modifying attack card. And here's my second one. Okay, so I drew a -2. I'm going to have to take that -2 because of disadvantage. So the attack had 2, and I drew a -2. It does no damage. Zip. So now we're going to go on to this guy over here, and I will draw my next attack modifier. And since he is ranged and I'm not next to him, I do not have disadvantage. So I'm going to draw this and take whatever it says. So I got a -1. So that's going to be 1 point of damage onto that Vermling Raider. So he is labeled 5. I'm going to be going ahead and putting 1 onto him. And that stinks because he has 5 damage. If I would have done 1 more point of damage, he would be dead. Now we're going on to our Vermling Raiders. And we have initiative 36, so they're up next. And then they're going to move 1 space. 0 plus 1 is 1. I almost messed that up. So we're going to start with our first Raider. So he, right there, is activated, but he actually has disarm, so he cannot move anywhere. Or excuse me, he cannot attack this turn. So he is just going to sit there and do nothing. And then on to our next Vermling Raider. Number 4 will be up next. He is going to move 1 over here. Now he has a range of 2, but he is not in range of anybody, so he cannot attack. Next up will be this guy right here. He's going to move right here, and the closest enemy is going to be Hatchet right there. So Hatchet is going to be the target of an attack from this monster Vermling Raider. So range 2, check. He's two spaces away. And then -1 to his base attack stat. So if we look over here, his base attack is 2. So he's going to attack at a range of 2 for 1 point of damage. And then we will need to draw a modifier for the attack. So we'll take this off of the monster deck, and you can tell that because there's a little M right down there. So -1, 1 minus 1, 0. The monster doesn't do any points of damage. And then we set this right over here. And then this card will get put right over here. We didn't draw a shuffle card with the little shuffle icon in the bottom right-hand corner. So we're just going to leave that over there. And then the next turn, we'll draw this next card and see what happens. So for the red guard, I went ahead and I picked Twirling Stabs and Shield Spikes. So I'm going to use the bottom part of this and attack for 2 onto that Vermling Raider. And then I'm going to use the top part of this card, which says attack or 2 adjacent enemies suffer 2 damage. So that'll just be automatic damage. You don't need to draw any modifier card for this attack, which it indicates right there, which is awesome. And then I'm going to be going at initiative 38. that right down there. So for Hatchet, I went ahead and I picked out Stopping Power, excuse me, and Disorienting Barrage. Now, my thinking with this is I have a move 2, and then all adjacent enemies suffer 1 damage. So if I can move up to here, this is an adjacent enemy, he only has 1 life left. I move up here, I do 1 point of damage automatically to that guy, he is going to die. And then I will actually be in range to use my Stopping Power, range 3, attack 3 without disadvantage onto this enemy right here. So we'll see how that works out. And yeah, let's get into it. Put that right down there. So initiative 35 and 38. Now we're going to have to draw our action card for our Vermling Raiders. I hate saying that word, Vermling Raiders. Okay, so 59. Awesome. We're going to put that right over here. And then let me show it to you first. So they are actually not going to move. They'll stay at their attack power of 2, and then they're going to have a range of 2, and they can target both enemies if they are in range. So say, for example, this guy right here, if he didn't have that disarm, he could attack this guy and that guy. Now, he would have disadvantage because he cannot move, but still he would be able to do attacks on both of those guys. So these Vermling Raiders are not going to move this turn. There's no movement action, and they are going to attack for 2, range of 2, and target 2 enemies if possible. And then right over here, Hatchet actually has the lower initiative of 35, so he is going to be going first, then the Red Guard, then the Vermling Raiders. So for Hatchet, I'm going to go ahead and use the bottom part of Disorienting Barrage. So that's going to be a move 2, and then all adjacent enemies suffer 1 damage. So I'm going to move right onto this space right here, and I'm going to end it. And then all adjacent enemies are going to suffer 1 damage. He's already got 4 points of damage. This will be his 5th. That means he is going to die. Boom, just like that. We'll go ahead and we'll put a little token of Moolah right where that is. We'll get these damage tokens off of him. Hopefully we can put some on another enemy. I've been drawing pretty bad on the attack modifier deck, but hey, whatever. We'll get through it. Then with his next attack, his next card, he's going to do Stopping Power. So that's range of 3 and damage 3. So this is the only monster that is in range. So I'm going to shoot at him, and we need to draw an attack modifier card for that. So I drew a +0, so that's going to be 3 points of damage onto that Vermling Raider. We'll go ahead and put it right onto number 1, and then that is it for Hatchet's turn. Up next, we have the Red Guard. So we are going to take these 2 cards, and first off, I'm going to do, you know what? I'm going to do this right here. 2 adjacent enemies suffer 2 damage. So automatically, I'm going to be doing 2 points of damage. I know that will kill him. So I don't need to draw an attack modifier because 3 + 2, that's right, folks, it equals 5. So I'm going to use the top part of this card. And the reason I did this instead of attacking over here is I can kill him with the top part of that. Then I can use the 2 movement points over here to move on to where he was at and pick up the gold coin that he's dropped after I killed him. So that's kind of my thinking right there. So 2 points of damage right there. This guy dies, he goes away. We're going to go ahead and put a money token right where he was. And then if you remember, I still have the bottom part here. I can attack 2, but there's no enemy around. So I can go ahead and use this movement right here in the upper left-hand corner for that card. So these are done, and I get 2 movement points. I move right here, and I grab that coin. Next up is our Vermling Raiders. They're going to be going at initiative 59. So they don't have any movements, and they will attack if they're in range 2. But this guy up here is the only one active. 1, 2, he's not in range of anything, so he's just going to sit there. And then I don't know if I pointed this out, but the door actually separates these monsters over here. They are actually not activated yet. As soon as that door opens, then if there wasn't a action card for the Vermling Raiders drawn, we would draw one. Or if during this turn, for some reason, I moved into there, opened that, they would activate at initiative 59 and go from there, just like this guy would. Okay, so let me put that down here. We didn't get one that makes us shuffle up the deck again. So he's going to sit right there, can't attack anything. He's just staying kaput like a little couch potato. And that's it for our mercenaries and our monsters. So we'll go ahead and draw for our next cards. Oh, and then number 1 is dead, so we will go ahead and remove these. Now we only have 6 cards, and we've used 4, so we're down to our last 2 cards, and that's going to make it a little easier. I'm not going to go ahead and short rest, even though I could. So for Hatchet, I'm going to go ahead and use these cards right here. I am going to go ahead and use the move 5, and then the top part of this, I'm going to use the attack 3. So if I can move 5, I can go 1, 2, 3, move right onto there, and then attack him for 3 points of damage. And then with Hatchet, I'm going to be using the initiative 18 right there, and I'm going to just try to go before he does. For the red guard, I picked out these 2 cards right here. I am going to use the bottom part of this and move 4, and then my thinking is I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, move right there, and then with the other card that I have, the Flaming Sickle, I have a range 2 with an attack 3, and if that doesn't kill him, you can see down here I have a pull 1. I can actually pull him into that trap, and if he isn't dead by then, he sure will be. So let's get into it, and let's see if those cards can play out. So we have initiative 63 is what I'm going to be going at for the red guard. And then we will need to draw a card for our Vermling Raiders and see what happens. Okay, initiative 50, and they are going to be moving at speed 1 with an attack 2 because that's their base stats, basically. So that is all that means. Nothing special. That's funny. I didn't see that until now. Okay, so we'll put that over to the side. And then once again, Hatchet is going first. Then the Vermling Raiders will actually go second, considering I have a 63 initiative and they drew a 50 over here. So we're going to go with Hatchet first. And we're going to use the move 5. So let's move him up. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to be using the top part of Close Guts here. So attack 3. And I have somebody that is in range, close combat, so got it. Now we'll draw an attack modifier for that. And I got a +0 for Hatchet. So that means 3 points of damage is going to go on to our Vermling Raider number 4. Bazinga, got it. Now our Vermling Raider is going to attack. He's going to move 1. He doesn't need to. He's already in range of a close combat attack onto Hatchet. So he is going to attack for 2 points of damage, which is his base. And we'll need to draw an attack modifier for that. Oh no, okay, so we got a +1. That's going to be 3 points of damage onto Hatchet. So we will go ahead and take our little dial. Hatchet is level 1. He starts at 8 points of damage. And he took 3 points just now. So we're going to go 7, 6, 5 and put him down to 5 points of damage. And that is all you do for that. Now we are on to our red guard. So with the red guard, I'm going to go ahead and use the bottom part of Blinding Sickle, move 4. So 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to wait right there. I've used the bottom part of Blinding Sickle, and now we are going to go ahead and use Flaming Sickle. So that's going to be a range of 2 and an attack 3. So we'll need to resolve that first because it starts at the top. I need to draw an attack modifier for the attack. So that's 3 points of damage. That's more than enough to kill him. And then if that would have been a botch, like if I got a null or a -2 and I wouldn't have killed him, I could have used the pull action and actually pulled him through that trap right there. And that would have definitely killed him because they only have 5 points, remember, as it says up there. So I did 3 points of damage with the red guard. That's going to be 6, more than enough to kill him. We'll remove these. We'll get that guy out of there. We'll put a money token right where his bode fell. And that is that. So now, for each of our mercenary, we have essentially gone through and discarded all of these cards. So we're going to need to take a short rest to pick them back up. So a short rest just basically means that we're going to go ahead and take these and shuffle them up randomly. And we're going to take one out of here. And we are, I was kind of hoping to keep that, but you know what? I think we'll be fine. I'll go ahead and get rid of that. So you take one. Now, say I really wanted this, I could take a point of damage on the Hatchet and put this to the side and then pick another one. I'm not going to do that. He's already got 5 health. He's a little low. I'm going to take this card and I'm going to discard it So now we have all of these other 5 cards that we get to keep and put in our hand and to use to try to complete the scenario and kill monsters. I'll go ahead and I will do the same thing. Grab all 6 of the discarded cards for the red guard. I'll flip them over. I'll give them a little truffle shuffle. That's from that's my boy Barrett at Meet Me at the Table. He always says that. It's really funny. You know, he said it so much that I was like, man, you need to stop saying that. But then he stopped saying it, and I was like, hey, where'd it go? You know, so just classic human, never happy with anything. So we'll shuffle them up, randomize them, and we will pick out one. And oh, I really like that one also, but you know what? I'm gonna get rid of it. Maybe I just like all the cards. I don't know. So now we have these 5 left that we are going to be able to choose from and try to complete the scenario, killing all monsters. So starting off for Hatchet, I picked out these cards, and then one new thing about these new cards, these B-labeled cards that we replaced the A ones with, is it has this little symbol down here. Now once I use this bottom part of this card, I actually have to lose that card. It is lost. So I put it in the lost pile as opposed to the discard pile. This will go in the discard pile no matter what, and then this will be lost permanently. So there's a lot of gold on the ground. I want to go ahead and try and pick that up. So I will probably try to move onto here and then loot 1 to pick that up. And then I will probably just discard this card as it won't have any effect. I just won't use anything for it. So bottom part here, use this, but I won't attack or anything like that. And that's just kind of my planning to pick up gold, because once you go back to Gloomhaven, you can actually upgrade, or excuse me, buy items and upgrade abilities. And I will be going at initiative 25 for Hatchet. For the red guard, I'm going to go ahead and pick out these 2 cards right here. And I'm going to move 4, and then I'm going to target 1 enemy and attack for 2, disarming that enemy. So my thoughts are, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, move right into here, bust down that door, and then disarm this enemy. This guy's so far away, I'm really not too concerned about him so far. So Hatchet is going to go over here, grab all the Mooney, and then the red guard is going to bust through here and try to put some points of damage onto this guy while disarming him so he doesn't attack back. And then right as I break through that door, as you remember, I'll have to draw a card for the Vermling Raiders and see what they're going to be doing this turn. And then these cards for the guard are very, very late, but at the same time, once I bust through that door, I still get to finish up my movement point, or my movement action, excuse me. So I'm going to pick 87 for this. I'll put it right down here. So right now the Vermling Raiders are not in the picture. And then Hatchet has the lower initiative at 25. So we are going to go with him first. I'm going to take his cards. And we're going to move 4 and loot 1. So I want to go 1, 2. And then I pick this up because I end my turn on it. And then I will go ahead and loot 1, and that means I will loot 1 square away. So any gold coins or treasure chests 1 space away from me are automatically going to be put onto my mercenary. So I grab that, and that is good to go. Now I do have the bottom part of this done, and I'll have to burn that card, basically lose it, get rid of it. So we'll put that down there. It is lost. Then I do have this top part that I can play, but there's no enemies in sight for me to attack, so I essentially just discard that, and his turn is done. With the red guard, I'll go ahead and use his move 4, like I said, and we're going to bust through that door and then do 2 points, try to do 2 damage onto an enemy and disarm them. So move 4, let's resolve that. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then right away, we're going to go ahead and draw a card for the Vermling Raider. And they're going to be going at initiative 85. So we'll go ahead and get their little token set up where it needs to be. And they're going to try to push me away and then do a ranged attack. So that is that. And then once we are done with this, since we don't have any more cards, we'll shuffle it. But say this was the first card that we drew, we would have to shuffle that. So there is that. I will put that over there. They are going to be going, technically, since I'm going at initiative 85, they are going to be going here. But during my turn, I've already activated it, my red guard, so I'm going to get to finish my turn. So I move 4. Now I'm going to attack 2 and do a disarm onto this Vermling Raider right there. I'll need to draw an attack modifier for that 2 points of damage I'm trying to put onto him. And I got a -1. So that's just going to be 1 point of damage that I'm going to put onto our Vermling Raider. He is labeled number 2. But he also gets a disarm, so he cannot attack back this turn or the next. So it's onto our Vermling Raiders. They're going to activate now. So number 2 is going to be first to act. He actually doesn't have any movement, and he actually cannot attack. Now, he can push. I'm not 100% sure if that is going to be something he can do, because technically that's not an attack. So, you know what? Let's just say he is going to push. So, oh man, okay, so normally I would like to be pushed right here, but I'm not sure. If I was him, I would want to push the red guard into a trap, so I'm going to play fair and try to kill myself as much as I can. So I'm going to push him into this trap right here. Or you know what? Maybe I would push him into this trap so that this guy can possibly do a point of damage onto me. So, hey, why not? We'll push him into this trap. Now, I'm not sure if that's actually correct, guys. So if there's anything you see that's wrong here, let me know down in the comments. I would love to hear from you guys, and I'd love to hear, maybe your interpretation, or how the actual video is, or how the actual game is supposed to go. But right now, I'm going to try to do as many points, and if I was that Vermling Raider, that's what I would do to try to do points of damage onto the red guard. So I'm going to push him across this trap right here. We'll go ahead and get rid of that. Now, the red guard hasn't taken any damage, so he's still at 10. So he's going to take 3 damage, go all the way down to 7. And he cannot do a ranged attack because he is disarmed. So we're going to go on to this guy right here. There's nobody around him, so he is not going to be able to push anybody next to him. And there's no movement, so he's not going to move. And then he is not in range of anybody. 1, 2, 1, 2. Nope, not in range of anybody to attack. So I think he's just going to sit right there and fizzle out. Now we're done with these 4 basic cards. We're going to go ahead and shuffle them up, move it around a little bit. There we go. And we are going to place those right back where they need to go. So for our red guard, I went ahead and I picked out these cards right here. And then my thinking is I'm going to use the bottom part of this, and I'm going to move 2. Then I'm going to attack 3 and immobilize this guy. I'm going to move down here, grab that money token, and try to do some damage onto our number 2 Vermling Raider right there. And I'm going to be going at initiative 14. I want to try to go fast and kill him before he has the time. I guess he's disarmed, so I'm just trying to go fast. I want to go fast, Ricky Bobby. Okay. For Hatchet, I picked out these cards. I'm going to move 3, and then I'm going to try to do the range 3, attack 3 onto this guy right here and kill him. And for Hatchet, I will be going at initiative 24. Put that right over there. Now let's draw for our Vermling Raiders, see what they get. All right, initiative 36. So we'll put that right over there, and then they are going to be moving 1 space and doing a ranged attack if they can. So right now, it looks like we have everything almost set up. The red guard is actually going to be going at initiative 14, so he will go first. Then Hatchet is going to go, then the Vermling Raiders at initiative 36. So for the red guard, I am going to go ahead and use this bottom part to move 2 spaces. 1, 2. I'm going to pick up that money right there. So that'll be it for the bottom part of this card. I just used the movement points. So now we're going to do the attack 3 and immobilize. So we'll draw an attack modifier for our red guard and see if he can do some damage. And oh yeah, that's the good one. Okay, so I got a ×2 multiplier. That's 3 damage times 2. That's 6. That is more than enough to blow this little guy out of the water. Boink, he's done. All right, and then as you can see at the bottom, anytime you ever get this symbol, that means that you're going to take your attack modifier deck, or wherever you drew that card from, whichever deck you drew it from, you're going to take it and just give it a little shuffle like that. Boom, voila, and it's renewed. So now on to Hatchet, who's going at initiative 24. That kind of ruined his plans. I didn't think that the red guard was going to get a ×2 multiplier and kill him right away, but no worries. You know what? He's going to use the bottom part of this and just try to get in the action. So move 3. 1, 2, 3. And that's it for the bottom part here. Now I do have range 3, attack 3 for stopping power. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Nope, I'm not in range of this guy. And that is it for Hatchet's turn. He is done. Yep, not in range. Next will be our Vermling Raider. So if you remember, the card that they drew was this one. So they're going to try to move one space and then get in range of one of our mercenaries. So he's going to go move one up. Now he has a range of 2. However, I do not think he is going to be able to hit any one of our mercenaries. 1, 2, nope. 1, 2. So if we had somebody in one of these squares right there, he could do a point of damage. However, he's not in range, so he is just going to sit there, and that's it for his turn. Now for each one of our mercenaries, we only have 1 card left, so we are going to have to do a short rest. So for Hatchet, we have 3 cards left. I'm going to shuffle these up, and I'm going to take one, and I'll go ahead, I'll get rid of that. So now he has 3 cards left for me to choose from. For the red guard, we'll go ahead and take these 4 cards that we've discarded, shuffle them up a little bit, and we'll draw one randomly, and I can live with that. We'll go ahead and discard that one. And then the reason that the red guard has more cards than Hatchet is I went ahead and used this card, which may have been a bad move, but whenever you use it, you have to go ahead and discard it, and that's why it is in the lost pile. Excuse me, you have to burn it, which is in the lost pile instead of the discard pile. So for Hatchet, I'm going to go ahead and pick these 2 cards out. So I'm going to use the bottom part of this this card, Disorienting Barrage, and I'm going to move 2. I'm going to move right into there, grab that money, and then I will be 3 spaces away from our Vermling Raider right over there. So I will be able to do that attack. And then I'm actually going to go, let's see here. I'm going to go at initiative, I'll go at initiative 51. So that is when I'm going to go. A little later, give him the chance to maybe move a little closer so the red guard can maybe do some damage onto him. Now with the red guard, I went ahead and picked out these 2 cards right here. So my plans are to loot one, and I'm going to pick up that treasure chest, assuming that, well, not assuming, he's going to go first, move there, shoot, and then I'm going to loot one, and I'm going to go at initiative 87, so I'm hoping that he gets something that lets him move closer, so that way, if I get him to move one space closer, I can actually do a damage point onto him. But we'll see, maybe he gets something that leaves him stationary. So that's my planning, and I'm going to be going at initiative 87 for the red guard. So let's draw a card for our Vermling Raider and see what they get. All right, so they didn't get what I wanted for the red guard. They're not going to get closer. They're going to push everybody around them, and they're going to try to do a range 2 attack, which is not going to work out for them. There's nobody in range 2, so good and bad, whatever. 87, so that's the initiative that they're going to be going at. We'll put that right over there. So with an 87 initiative, we're going to have Hatchet be going first. Then we're going to have the Vermling Raider, and then the red guard is going to go last. So we'll see how that goes. For Hatchet, these are his cards right here. I have a move 2, and then there won't be any adjacent enemies to suffer 1 damage, so that part of the card will go unresolved. So move 2, he's going to go 1, 2. He's going to move right on top of that gold, pick it up, got it. So that is going to be the bottom part of this card right here. So we're going to use the top part of center mass and range of 3, attack of 3. I am definitely in range of this guy. So 1, 2, 3. And I need to draw an attack modifier for it. And I drew a -1. So not great, but still do 2 points of damage onto him. So he is number 6. I'll go ahead and I will put 6 points of damage onto him. Oh, and then number 2 died so long ago. Sorry about that. I needed to remove these. So we'll just go put those back. And then that is going to be it for Hatchet's turn. He is done, done. So up next is going to be the Vermling Raider right here. Now remember the card that they drew, the Screaming Shot. They're going to push 1 to all adjacent enemies around them. They don't have any enemies around them. And then they're going to do a range 2 attack, which actually has +1 to their base attack, which would be 3. That's a pretty devastating attack right there. But 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. They are not in range of anybody, so their turn is basically forfeited. Now it's going to go onto the red guard. And the red guard is going to use the bottom part of here and loot 1. So when I do that, I will pick up this treasure chest, and then in the, I can't remember where it is, I think it's the scenario book in the back, you'll go and look up what number 14 is. I think this is actually just some money, so you'll get some extra money for picking that up, and it'll just be the red guard, I think, that picks it up. So he's going to pick this up, get it, that'll be the bottom action of Flaming Sickle, loot 1, and then he would like to do a range 2 attack, but 1, 2, there's nobody in range, so he is just going to have to just bide his time and chill out. So we'll go ahead and discard those 2 cards, and that is it for that. So with Hatchet, I am running out of cards. I only have 2 cards right here, and I'm going to have to do a short rest because I only have 1 in my hand, the double throw. So I'll take this and try to shuffle it as well as I can, and I'll pick this one out. Sure, let's get rid of it. And then I'll put this back into my hand. Now at the end of this turn, I am out of luck. I will have to use these cards, and this will be my last turn. Once you run out of cards or run out of life, you die. So we'll go ahead and put these back over for Hatchet. Those are his last 2 cards. Now for the red guard, I still have 2 that are in my hand, so I'll go ahead and use those. And with this one, let's see, yeah, I can move 3, and then I can attack and disarm the enemy. So I'll use that one. And then I'll be going at initiative 14. I'd like to get over there and do some damage to him before he knows what's going on. And then with Hatchet, I'll go ahead and use these 2. And I will go at initiative 51. And then last time, remember for the ability, we got the Screaming Shot, which needs to have a reshuffle onto the action deck for the basic Vermling Raiders. All whopping 4 cards of these. Usually there's a couple more. Once you start getting into the core game, there'll be more. So we'll draw this, and dual daggers, range 2, target 2, 59 initiative. Okay, we'll put that right over there so you guys can see it. So initiative 59, we have 51 and then 14. So red guard is actually going to go first, then the Hatchet is going to go second, and then the Vermling Raider at 59 is going to go third. So the red guard is up, initiative 14. I'm going to go ahead and move 3. So, we got Hatchet's card in here. Sorry about that. Moving 3, 1, 2, and I'm going to do a attack. Let me see here, not that one. I use the bottom part here, 3, and I'm going to do 2 points of attack power onto that guy right there with a disarm. So we'll need to draw an attack modifier for the red guard, and I drew a -1, so that's going to be 1 point of damage onto our number 6 guy. So he's up to 3 points of damage, and then he does get a disarm onto him, so he will not be attacking this turn or the next. Now with Hatchet, we have these 2 cards right here. So I'm going to go ahead and move 2 and then do a ranged attack onto him. Now there's only 1 enemy, so if there was 2, I could target both of them, but it's fine if there's just 1. You can still do this for an attack. So I will go ahead and, or actually, excuse me. 1 second here. No, yeah, I was thinking about using the bottom part of this, add 1 to your attack, and then use this, but it would still just be 2 attacks. So I'm going to go ahead and use move 2 for the bottom part of this. And I'm going to go 1, 2. So that is it for this card. And then onto this one, range 3, attack 2. So 1, 2, he is in range. And I'll need to draw a modifier for that. And I got a +0. So that is going to be 2 points of damage onto our Vermling Raider. So he's got 3 plus the 2. That is 5 points of damage. So he is dead. So we are going to get rid of him. We're going to put a money token down where his useless body was. And then that is it for the scenario. There's no more monsters. This guy goes away. We have essentially killed all enemies as the scenario wanted us to do. And then we wouldn't go ahead. It would be nice if one of them had a move action to move up here. But the red guard went. then Hatchet moved, attacked. That's it for the turn. It is done. No more monsters, ready to go. So boom, that's it. We won our scenario. That was scenario 2, a hole in the wall out of Jaws of the Lion, aka Teeth of the Kitten. I hope you really liked it. And I love that you watch my videos. If you hit a like and a subscribe, that is awesome. But really, what I'd really like is for you to leave something in the comments. Have you guys been playing this game? Do you like it? What are your favorite characters? Did you think there was something that I did wrong during the video or a rule that I messed up on? I would really just love to hear from you guys. It would mean the world to me. And thank you so much for watching my video, and I hope everyone has a great day.